Hi there, fish tankers. When I'm not at work or when I'm not involved with my fish, I'm also involved in boxing. But as much as I like the sweet science, I like the fighting and the violence to say inside the ring. When I'm in front of my aquarium, I want it to be a tranquil and peaceful experience. But what do you do when the boxing ring comes to the aquarium? How do we control fish aggression? Stick around and find out. The first thing we need to do is determine whether the aggression is serious or not. Here we have some Siamese algae eater males sparring with each other, and here we have some cherry barb males flaring at each other. That's not serious, it's temporary. They don't really cause any damage to each other, they're just sort of sparring with each other and then it stops. But over here we see a couple of apistogramma males chased into a corner, and there they sit miserable and not eating properly, and the culprit is a dominant male apistogramma hongsloy that's dominating them. This is something we need to do something about and separate them. Number one is do your research before you buy a fish. Don't buy an impulse. A green spotted puffer is not a community fish, it's a wet pet. As is this flowerhorn cichlid. Don't look at the exception. We've got a guy in a fish group, Charles, got a flowerhorn and he keeps with other fish. That's the exception. Usually they need to be on their own. Malawi and Buna cichlids needs to be together and crowded, and you can't keep two male betas together. It will just be a recipe for disaster. So do your research before buying. Prevention is better than cure. Then fish are food. They say in Finding Nemo, fish are friends, not food, but a fish will put anything in its mouth that it can fit and eat it. So if you put these little tetras with arowana, it will just be an expensive snack for them. Bigger is better. If an aquarium is bigger as opposed to a small aquarium, a lot more elbow room means less aggression. Then you've got to create sight breaks. That means if we look at this tank with a hardscape, the fish can't see from the front to the back of a tank and from the one end to the other end of a tank. So if we go around the corner of this tank and we look at that spiderwood, you can see there's lots of hiding places. A fish that sits here can't see all the way to the other end, and so they can stay out of each other's way, much like humans. And here we go around behind this opposite end of the tank, behind the spiderwood there by the filter, you'll see the koi angel sitting there. That's her spot to get away from it all. She comes out to the front to feed or late in the evening when she wants to cruise, but she has her spot where the other fish can't bother her and she doesn't bother them. The same thing with a pea puffer tank. It's a species tank, but they can be aggressive towards each other. So we have plants here, and we've got hardscape that creates sight breaks and spots where they can get away. Keep the temperature at the lower range. So if a fish wants to be between 24 degrees and 29 degrees Celsius, keep the temperature at 24 degrees. That's less breeding behavior, which translates into less aggression. That leads us to keep less or single males. Especially with live bearers, I think you want about 3 females to every male, because the males will keep on chasing the females to death. You'll even see my cherry barbs. I've got 3 males, but I also have 4 females, and that tends to even the energy out a little bit. With feeding, feed them regularly. We never want to overfeed, but if you skip feeding for too long, they might snack on each other or become more aggressive when there's scarcity. So put the food in different ends of a tank so everybody can get enough, and feed the different kind of food that everyone requires. So that's it. Please like if you find the content useful, and please subscribe if you feel so inclined. We'd greatly appreciate it, and keep on taking good care of those domestic denizens of the deep.